Hey y'all, here at OS Reviews. Over the past few months, we've seen some rapid developments even in charging tech through GaN or gallium nitride. And at the start of the year, it began with some power banks that can charge a laptop, providing up to 45 watts, then 100 watts, and now at the end of the year, we have gadgets which can charge up to 200 watts simultaneously, which is just insane. You can charge multiple computers, multiple smartphones, all at once without breaking a sweat in something that's much smaller than what we would had in a charger just a year or two ago. Claims to be the world's most powerful power bank. That's a handful, but it supplies up to 100 watts for one port, USB Type-C, and another port that supplies up to 65 watts. And then we have some additional ports like a Type-A port, as well as supporting Qi wireless charging that adds to the functionality as well. So in total, you can charge up to 5 devices and it will supply the combined total of 215 watts. It can charge up most laptops in around an hour. Perhaps the most impressive part though is that this entire power bank can be fully recharged in under an hour by using the 100-watt port that can supply both input and output. The fact that you can charge up a 26,000 milliamp hour capacity battery in just 1 hour is also really crazy. Now, by the way, it comes in 2 versions. One edition, which is 20,800 milliamp hours, a little bit smaller and more compact, and a larger brother, which is the 26,800 milliamp hour version. But both of these versions offer the same number of ports, and both of them will offer the same 215 watts of combined charging power. And inside the box here, we have just the power bank, the Super, right on top, which we'll take a closer look at in a moment. And down below here, we do have a USB Type-C cable, a pretty standard plug. It's a Type-C to Type-C for charging the power bank, as well as used for charging up your smartphone or your laptop. And then also, as part of the same packaging, we do have a wall plug as well that you can use to charge up the power bank by plugging it in, and this wall plug will supply up to 100 watts. The one thing I will say though is it looks like this wall plug is a white colored edition, but I do wish they would match it with the power bank to be black. But aside from that, we do have a pretty complete box. We do also have 2 ports, by the way, on this wall plug, so you can also charge a second device, although if you plug in 2 devices, it will split the 100 watts between them. So taking a closer look at this Super power bank, it is incredibly sturdy and well constructed on first impressions because the entire body is made out of this chunk of aluminum unibody, so it feels like a heavy block of metal when you're picking it up, and it actually has a slight triangular shape to it. You can see that the base is a little bit smaller than the top, which makes it a little easier to hold and pick up. It also makes the design a little bit more fresh and unique compared to other power banks I've seen. Otherwise, the very top surface that has the Harbor logo is the Qi wireless charging pad that you can use to pop your phone on top like an iPhone or Galaxy device. One thing I will say though is that the surface is very reflective, so to protect it against scratches, maybe they can consider adding some type of rubber coating in a future version that would replace the disc with something matte to add some more texture to prevent sliding around. But aside from that, it does look very sleek and premium. They're all labeled as well, so you can understand what their charging rates are, and they can be used for both input for charging the power bank and also output for charging your device. You can tap on this key once to take a quick look at how much battery is left in the power bank. By the way, there is a 5th LED which is white in color, and this one is just for charging. If it is going to be lit, it means that you're currently charging up the power bank itself. A quick size comparison with Aki's power bank that we checked out a few months back, also using GaN, but this one can supply up to 65 watts of power versus, again, 215 watts combined. The Aki, by the way, is a 26,000 milliamp hour pack, so against the Harper Super, you can see it's going to be a little bit thicker. However, it's also going to be a little bit not as long. It's actually shorter. So what that means is that the Super power bank here, again, the 20,000 milliamp hour edition, is still not the smallest 20,000 milliamp hour power bank on the market. They probably still had to build in some extra space to prevent overheating, but if you have a reasonably sized pocket in your backpack, it's still easy enough to take with you when you're on the road and traveling. Doing a quick demo here, we can try charging up our laptop just by plugging it in. The charging will instantly start, and the lights will also remain lit during the entire process. Now, by the way, the Qi wireless charging coil can actually be turned on or off just to conserve on power. You also use the key here by long holding for a few seconds until the first light turns green, and that means you've activated the Qi charging pad. I can pop our phone here right on top that supports Qi charging. You can see it will just begin, and it will be kind of charging fast charging wirelessly as well, it'll take around an hour and a half to 2 hours to fully charge up most smartphones. So the Qi charging component is not the fastest. There's Qi chargers I've seen that have, say, up to 30 watts, for instance. But it's still a nice touch to have on a power bank that it's already very spec'd out. If you want to charge it the fastest, you can always use the Type-C port instead and rely on that method. And if I'm a bit crazy or in a rush, I can charge a second computer at the same time, maybe a tablet for instance, again using the second Type-C port, which can supply up to 65 watts, still enough to do a complete charge on most laptops. And you can see once again that it's starting to charge here without any interference. And then say yet another device plugged in using the full-size Type-A port, it will once again charge. So it really is going to charge all your devices, no real issues in my testing and hands-on with the unit. Impressively, even when it's charging up to 215 watts, because of the kind of distribution of the circuitry, the fact that it's a little bit longer and spread out, it actually doesn't really overheat or build up too much temperature, which was one of my initial concerns. Everything still remains pretty cool as you're picking it up and touching it. That's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of this Harbor Super Power Bank series. Power banks as a whole aren't the most exciting things, but because of the huge increase in charging speed that we've been seeing powered by gallium nitride over the past few months, I wanted to take a closer look at this just to show you that incremental upgrade that we're getting. From the start of the year, I thought, 45 watts on a power bank this small was already really impressive, and now we're getting to the stage where we have the same size, but something that can supply, again, 215 watts, charging multiple computers and multiple phones at full speed, which is just insane. So anyways, I don't think I'm going to cover really a update after this in terms of power banks for a while, but just really shows you the extent of what you can get now in something so small and lightweight. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. You can learn more details, but for now that's been our video. This has been the Harbor Super 215 watt power bank.